Well, welcome and thank everyone for coming. We are we open with a land acknowledgement. And I just want to let everybody know that I will mute everyone before we start. And if you're a speaker, before you start to speak, please unmute yourself. So before we begin, we take a moment to recognize that here in Nevada, we stand on the land of the Washishu, Washoe, Numi, Northern Paiute, Niue, Western Shoshone, Niue, Southern Paiute. We take a moment to recognize and honor their stewardship that continues into this day. With this recognition, we state an intention to rightfully include their voice and respect them as the 27 sovereign tribal nations of Nevada. Jerry?
Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Jerry Burton. I'm the co-executive director of Nevada Now, and I'm going to introduce our board, and then we'll get right to the program. So Sue Birch is our co-executive director, and what all the things do you do? So she's a legislative lead and the PAC coordinator, and she'll be talking after the program about some of our legislative priorities and the bills we're supporting. Eva Love is our Director of Membership and Volunteer Coordinator. Madalena Robertson is our Director. She does technology and media, our website, and some of our social media. Sarah Evans is our Director of Fundraising. Laura Campbell, who can't be here because her little girl's birthday is today, Lily, Director of Actions. Samantha Glover is Director of Youth Outreach, and I don't think she's on quite yet. Tricia Methner is joining us from the airport. She's our secretary, so don't know if she's on yet. And Lenore Briley is our treasurer. And our host is our Nevada Now Director of Outreach and the first Black president of SEIU Nevada, Michelle Maese. So she's going to take over as our host. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, so this is such a great day. I'm so excited. And thank you for Nevada Now for hosting. And we are just joined by our Secretary of State, Cisco Aguilar. I'm going to call you out real quick. We see you. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Good to see everyone.
We're good. Thanks. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Welcome to our Black History Month program. And we are just going to take a moment just to recognize some outstanding individuals.
Oops, you went on mute.
Sorry, and can continue to lead the way. And we usually start the program with going from the front of the pictures to the very end. But I know how President Bush is such a gentleman, as is our NAACP President Clinton. So we are going to start at the beginning with Lady AK. And and we are just going to have a conversation about, who you are, and then what your organization does and how it relates to Black history. And so I'll let you go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, y'all. Hi, everybody. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. That's an interesting question. So I don't want to focus so much on me versus, I guess, the work that I do. So most of you all, or if anyone knows me for AK's Closet, my organization, which is, I guess, more so known now for the community baby showers that we put on. But I'm also a stand-up comedian and a radio personality. So I guess that's more of the way that I relate to Black history is the events that I choose to host, the way that I choose to host those events. There are some events that I feel like only I can do. I feel like there are some things that have to be said and need to be said, and I think that sometimes people don't want to say them because they've been hired to host. And I feel like you shouldn't have hired me if you didn't want us to talk about the truth. I have an event that I'm hosting next week. It's a Black history event for Metro, and then they had the nerve to allow me to prepare the questions as well. So I thought that was interesting. But again, if you really want the Black history part of it, if you really want to make it Black, then I think that that's probably where that comes in at. I would say I make Black history. No one's ever thrown a community baby shower here before. I also organized the very first Malcolm X Day here in the city. I organized the first Black pop-up shop. It was all Black businesses called the Really Black Friday. We did that back in like 2016 or something over at the Pearson Center. So there are a lot of different elements of what I do that include Black history. But I think that there has to be a lot of understanding when it comes to Black history, but a lot of unity when it comes to people, because essentially we're all fighting against the same machine. I hope that answered the question.
That and more. Thank you so much. Yes, it did. Thank you so much. Okay, can we just talk about the baby shower? Can we give a little bit more information about that?
Okay. AK's Closet actually started out as an organization that provided clothes and different household wares to people who needed them. I accepted things that people didn't want to take to Goodwill because they didn't want those items. So I'm so sorry if y'all can hear my baby. He's as far as he can be with me still being able to
We love
monitor
all the
him right
babies.
now.
Put the baby on the screen. We love all the babies.
Absolutely not. But as long as y'all are okay with hearing him in the background, it's cool. So in cleaning out my storage, I was 7 months pregnant myself, and we're cleaning out the back of the storage, and there's so much of this baby stuff that's in the back because people always were requesting the items that were more closer to the front, which were typically items we put on the streets or took to churches and that schools contacted us for. So I'm like, well, how do we get rid of all of this baby stuff? Like, I know that people need baby stuff, but no one contacts me for it. And so we created the first community baby shower at Parkdale Rec. That's where they all are each time we do them. For the very first one, only 15 people showed up. And then it broke my little heart because I'm like, there's no way that there aren't people that need baby stuff more than this.
Right.
And so for the second one, I was contacted by News Channel 13 because a fellow radio personality brought up the baby shower. And when we arrived to the second one, the line was wrapped around the building an hour before the event started. And it was well over 300 people that have attended each baby shower since then. So we started out doing it once a year. Now we do it twice a year because the need and expectation has grown.
That is so wonderful. And so tell us how, as a community, how we can help you with the baby shower or AK's Closet. Tell us what we can do to support you.
Okay, so definitely we always need baby items, of course, donated, and especially if you won't make me come and pick them up. If you can meet me to drop them off at the storage facility, whether it's the one in North Vegas or the one closest to the west side, that would be great. We only accept new, gently used, clean, operable items. So it's not the opportunity for people to unload their junk and stuff that they don't want. It's your opportunity to actually impact someone else's life who otherwise, one, may not have had a baby shower. A lot of people move here from other cities. They don't have family here. You go to have a baby, and what does that look like when it's time for a baby shower? There's no one to throw one for you. So it's not just a giveaway type of thing. It's actually a baby shower. So if you like designing stuff, if you bake cakes, if you have a restaurant that you work for that you know that wants to cater, Raising Cane's has catered before, Shake Shack has catered. We actually try to make it like an event. If you want to blow up balloons or bring balloons, we always need diapers. Diapers is the big ticket item, as well as car seats and travel system. The travel system is the stroller that comes with the car seat that attaches to it, because a lot of people that show up don't have vehicles to be able to just have a car seat automatically in the car with them. Sometimes they have to take Uber, they got to take the dock out and put it in and things like that. So that's very helpful. We always need volunteers. We just had the first one of the year last month, and so we do it every 6 months. So when the next one comes around, you all see the flyer circulating, and by all means, we always need volunteers. The volunteers show up, and at the beginning, they're like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to do. And it's like, dude, if you just wait 2 more seconds, you have more to do than what you know to do with it, and that's what happens. So volunteering in any capacity, even if that means that you go and pick up items from different people who want to donate and bring them over to the storage facility, or actually volunteering the day of.
Listen, I'm full. That is wonderful. That is so great. Thank you so much. And so can you let us know also about your radio station, KCEP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm actually a volunteer. A lot of people think that I'm a paid personality. I'm not.
Oh.
My position on Power 88 is a volunteer position. My show, The Breakdown, has been live and doing great for 9 years now. We won 2 awards for the show. The show was started by my baby's godfather, Franklin G. Verley. Congressman Hortsford lost a very important race a few years ago, 9 years ago almost. And Franklin knew that it was a good chance that the community was going to want to have their voices heard, and there were things that the community was going to need to hear as far as taking their responsibility for getting out and voting, as well as people who are running for seats, for them to get the word out that, hey, it's an election season. I was on the air with Carlea, the Queen of Flow, who actually got me into Power 88. And we were talking about just random things before we got a phone call from a community center. And they're like, hey, the polls are empty. What's going on? Today is election day. It's almost like no one knows. So then we started talking about it. People didn't know. There were folks that were calling in from the grocery store, and they're like, I just put all my items back. I didn't even know that it was election day. I'm going now. And then it got to the point where other polling sites were calling the radio station, and they're like, oh my gosh, people keep coming in here saying that they heard you guys on the radio. Please keep doing it. And so from the aftermath of that is where The Breakdown was born. I've had the distinct pleasure of interviewing some absolutely amazing people throughout not only our community, but internationally. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have been gifted such a platform, not only to learn about myself, but this community as well. Being a part of The Breakdown, being a part of Power 88 has taught me so much about the city, about responsibility of having a platform. Being on the radio actually convinced me to change some of the ways that I deliver jokes on stage. It made me eliminate certain words from my vocabulary. And I think it all around, while a lot of people in the community are grateful to be able to have that voice when something is happening in the city and people don't feel like they're being heard, they're grateful to have that outlet. But I'm grateful to be able to learn so much when it comes to the community, people, as well as radio.
You are amazing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming on the show. Thank you. I had the honor of walking into that KCEP room with you and Come Through Lou, and it was amazing. It was we had a great time. If you could, because I see a couple of things in the chat, people are asking what else you need for the baby shower and everything. So you could just put your information in the chat so people can get a hold of you. And volunteering, when we go down the list, you'll hear that we are people, you're going to get volunteers on this. Oh yeah, you will, because volunteer is our middle name, really, most of everybody on here. But we thank you for your service, Lady AK. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think I've ever met anybody like you. I think you're so special and so unique. And we appreciate your heart and your service, because it takes a lot to do service work and to not even expect the thank you, just to do it because you feel like you need to do it. So we really appreciate you and thank you. I know you're busy. And thank you. Tell your baby we said thank you for giving your mama for a minute. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate y'all for having me in this amazing panel that you have. When I saw who you were asking me to speak alongside, I was like, again, imposter syndrome. What in the world am I doing here? There are some amazing people that are there, as well as in this chat. I've had the pleasure of interviewing a lot of them, and I'm very excited for them to let the rest of the community know about the work that they do that is very unappreciated and very little known. So I'm excited. Jashante, don't you hold out, or I'm going to come back on here and tell on you.
Yes. Thank you, Lady AK. And everybody is right where they're supposed to be in this time and place. So we appreciate you so much. Thank you. We are going to move on to Jovan Johnson, who is the chair of the African American Task Force at Carpenters Local 1977. Jovan, if you could unmute, and we will go through the same thing Lady AK did. Just a little bit about yourself. Let me just stop right now. I'm not sick, everybody. I lost my voice screaming at the rally, at the protest. So I'm just telling you, like, this sounds crazy, but I was yelling my little heart out, so my voice is gone. But we're going to make it through. Thank you. Jovan, you are up.
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Jovan Johnson. I am a special representative for the Southwest Mountain States Regional Council of Carpenters. And yes, I know that is a mouthful. We just acquired 4 more states, so we had to change our name a little bit. So now we're 10 states strong, from Canada down to Mexico, the western states. So I'm one of 2 women that represent about 70,000 union carpenters on those 10 states. And I'm the only one that's Black, and I'm the only one that's here in Nevada. So I'm very proud of that. Thank you. So what I do, Michelle mentioned the African American Task Force. So basically that was started in California. It was started somewhat by our General President McCarran. And it's basically being a Black carpenter, especially in certain states. As we know, Nevada, as progressive as we want to be, is still the South a little bit. So it's a little bit hard to be a Black carpenter here. So we formed a committee that brings us all together, allows us to network, to build each other up, to strengthen each other. So we call it the African American Task Force because that's what they called it when they formed it in California. So it's a great group of carpenters. And we have about, here in Las Vegas, we have about 5,600 union carpenters. And out of that 5,600, less than 200 are Black. So it's a small little group, you know, and of that small group, an even smaller group make up the task force. I would say about 20, 25 make up the task force. And we're just there for one another. You know, the Carpenters Union here in Vegas, we really have strived in the last couple of years towards diversity, putting a real focus on it. It comes from the council down. And it's been a great thing. You know, we focus a lot on community wealth. We go out into the community. We do what we can. You know, as Lady AK said and Michelle mentioned, there's a lot of people on this call that have a lot of volunteer programs, and the Carpenters Union has a volunteer program as well. So we try to get out into the community as much as we can. We did a couple of things this month for Black History Month, and our African American Task Force is really pushing towards more visibility in the community, because there's no reason why our young adults should be, you know, breaking their backs out working for Amazon or somewhere for $14 an hour when they could really join the Carpenters Union and make good money, wages and benefits. So that's what we strive towards. We want more visibility in the community, more people to know about us, more high school students to know about our programs, and that we have a path to a debt-free career, you know, no student loan debt and things like that. So we really push that. We try to, at least.
Thank you so much, Jovan. I had the pleasure of knowing you for about a couple of years, and the work that you all do. And I'm going to tell you, you just showing up when we call is amazing. Jovan came and talked to high school students through Lady AK. Oh my gosh, Lady AK. Jovan was one of the people that came with us to talk to one of your schools. So Lady AK, Jovan, Lady AK. Hello, full circle.
I'm actually over here like, that script sounds like it would be perfect for my students. But then again,
she was there.
I feel like Michelle probably had her come already. Jovan, thank you so much. As I told Michelle before, you all made a huge impact on those students. They had a survey that they took that told us the careers that they were interested in. We went in order from the most interested to the least interested. So the unions was very small on their list, yet yours was the most talked about, the most rewarding, and even y'all had some of the teachers thinking about quitting, and I think that's a shame. But thank you for coming, and I appreciate you all so much for that from the bottom of my heart. Those students really, really, really needed that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you so much, Jovan, too. And Jovan, can you talk to us about just some of the other events that you guys have participated in and helped throughout the community? I know you did the Christmas event last time with giving out the toys for the kids, and what you do at the local building things. I know my husband was supposed to be there yesterday. You are building something for housing or something. Can you talk about that?
We've done a couple of things. We try to do as much as we can when we're asked. We've done a couple of events with the Girl Scouts, with the Boy Scouts. At our international training center, which is closer to the airport, we did a mock-up for homeless housing that they're using in California, you know, just to try to show how quickly and how efficient and that they can be built, you know, with sustainable materials and things like that. So we try to get out there. You know, we're trying to make sure that we do as much in the community that we can. In April, we're going to be hosting the Girl Scouts Pinewood Derby. race. We try to do everything. We work with veterans. We work with Ronald McDonald House. We try to get out in the community as much as we can just to try to spread that love, that joy. We try to be very politically active. Every political season, you'll see us out there. We go where we're needed, and we go where we're unknown. And I think that is the best road for us to travel is, the visibility is important. And that goes for all of our organizations. The visibility is mandatory. People don't know you exist. It's hard to exist. It's hard to continue in that existence. So we try to make sure that our members, especially when we're going out into high schools, like I'm a career connection specialist for CCSD. And that's just basically our curriculum in high schools and some of the non-traditional wood shop, bringing back that, but, wood shop on steroids to where they're learning masonry and plumbing and electrical and all sorts of trades while they're still in high school so that they can decide, if they don't want to go to college, they have tons of opportunities that they can explore. And we want to make sure that no matter what you choose to do, that you're being paid what you're worth, right? And that's the message that we pushed out there. That's the message that we pushed out there when we went to speak at the high schools. We try to make sure that that gets out there because I think that people don't talk about it enough. And I personally went to college. I didn't like it, surprise. And so I dropped out. And, for any of you that had that experience, you disappoint your family and whatnot. But when I did graduate from trade school, my grandmother cried, so that was her moment. That was my moment. And I think that we're losing a lot of our young adults to jobs that will never pull them out of poverty. So I think that a lot of what we should all strive to do is make sure that they're as aware as they can possibly be for all the opportunities that they can find. And trade schools, union jobs are probably their best bet out there with no college fees and funds and loans, etc. Did that answer your question, Michelle? I don't know what.
Listen, all and then some. Like you guys are just blowing out the water with double, triple A pluses. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I'll tell you, Javon, you're my favorite because my husband's fifth generation Carpenters Union, 1977. His family's, born and raised here and built this city. So, I was telling one of the ladies that you guys were redoing the Flamingo and he found his great grandfather's initials and then his name underneath it. So, that's history, and so he was like, listen, there used to be no Blue Diamond Road at all. Like he's taken me all throughout this city. So I definitely appreciate you. And thank you for mentioning union jobs. I didn't have to go to my next question because you hit it on the head. And so, it speaks music to my ears when someone says fair wages, good benefits, strong contracts, get paid, right? So yeah, we want to retire with dignity and respect. So we appreciate you, Giovanna. If you can just let us know what we can do to support you as well. And I'll put myself on mute if you can let us know what we can do to support you.
You know what? Reach out to me. If you guys have events where you might need some physical labor, somebody helped you set up. If you need some kind of sponsorship or just us to get involved. If, Michelle's contacted us several times when there's a rally or something and we just say, hey, sure, no problem. So when it's about benefiting the community, just reach out to me and I'll see what I can do to help you guys out.
Thank you so much. And one more thing I just want to give you, just highlight how impactful it was when I said, hey, two of our community leaders had food to give away and it was pouring rain. I'm not even like pouring, hailing rain. It was horrible. And here comes Javon with the Carpenters talking about what can we do? How can we do it? A wife in tow, like holding the line up. So listen, in the snow, rain, hot desert, Carpenters will be there to help. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking your time out of the Saturday to be with us. And we will reach out. If you can put your information in the chat as well, that way everybody can reach out to you. Thank you so much. Isn't this a wonderful program, y'all? We're just doing it. We're just doing it today. All right. Okay, we're going to move forward to Miss Keisha Westbrooks, the intern with Mass Liberation Project Nevada. And we are just going to ask you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then go ahead.
I'm supposed to follow those two? But yeah, okay.
Leading the way, yeah.
My name is Keisha Westbrooks, and I am an intern with Mass Liberation. I'm also a social work student at UNLV. I graduate in May, and I will go straight into my master's of social work in June. And once I obtain that, I plan to go to law school. I'm also a formerly incarcerated woman. I was incarcerated for 4 years at Florence McClure Women's Correctional Center in Nevada. And that experience with the criminal justice system and being incarcerated kind of created this advocate, activist, and abolitionist. So when I got out, which happens to be 4 years now, Monday was my 4-year anniversary of being home, and I've been able to accomplish a lot in that time. But I think back on my time at Florence McClure, and if I had received proper medical care, physical therapy, or wasn't denied the things that I came in with that were prescribed by my doctor because I had just had a stroke, I would not be permanently paralyzed right now. And I think of all the things that I could have accomplished if I were 100% healthy. And that has had a major impact on my life and really changed the person that I am. And I just work tirelessly in the community and on campus to make things better. I always say that every day I do something to chip away at the injustice and the stigmas that plague our community. And I am a champion of the marginalized population, and I'm also a champion for veterans because I also am a veteran.
Miss Keisha, listen, we thank you for your service. We thank you for your perseverance. I mean, we thank you for everything because, listen, nobody can write your story but you, and you are rewriting everything that happened to you, right? Your tragedy has turned into triumph, and so we thank you for not silencing your voice afterwards to help other women. So please know that we appreciate you, and whatever we can do to help you and support you, we are here for that. So, you'll go through and put your name and everything in the chat, but let's talk about what else you do for mass liberation and any bills that you're working on right now or anything else you want to highlight that you're doing. Please let us know.
Okay, well, for mass liberation, we've been working with several other community organizations like Nevada Now to create a bill that is called Dignity for Incarcerated Women. And this bill is very close to my heart because it addresses some of the things that make spending time in prison miserable, painful, and, in my opinion, inhumane. So this bill is currently with LCB and should be really pushed through legislation this session. We have several supporters for this bill. We're getting a lot of community support, a lot of legislative support, and I'm really excited about it because it could make the conditions for women in prison so much better. And I know I spent 4 years there in pain every day because I wasn't given adequate medication because they don't have adequate medical staff. And women are having to pay outrageous amounts of money just to buy aspirin or something as simple as tampons, which they don't even give deodorant. And it's inhumane to walk around in pain and having to smell all day if you can't afford. If no one puts money on your books, you get the bare minimums.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's really hard to even hear that is happening in our prisons, and you are 100% right. Nobody should have to walk around like that ever. There needs to be dignity for incarcerated people. And women, yes, absolutely. And so what can we do to support you and Mass Lib?
Spread the word about the Dignity for Incarcerated Women bill. It's very important. It's something that could make a drastic difference in the lives of women that will be returning to our communities. And it's taken me a long time to get my dignity back. And women should not have to deal with that and have to come back into society and fight to feel like they are a part of it, that they're even human. Just because you did something wrong does not mean you're less of a human being and deserve to be treated without dignity and degraded and demoralized. So spread the word. Talk to your legislators. Testify. Help us get this bill passed.
Girl, we will do all that. You better believe it. We will do all that. Absolutely. And Assemblywoman Cecilia Gonzalez is the one who is carrying that bill. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Do you know the bill number by chance? If not, we can look it up. Do you know the bill number?
We haven't gotten the bill number yet
Okay.
because it's
coming.
still in with LCD, but it's coming.
Okay, listen, we can practice patience. Absolutely. Oh, it's BDR 16, BDR 16252. Okay. In the meantime, we are going to practice patience, but we will just get our speaking voices ready to testify for you on that bill, because that's so important. And we want to make sure that everybody on this I was say station, Lady AK, look at me like I got a station. Okay. We want to make sure everybody on the Zoom has an opportunity to help and support Miss Keisha and the women that are incarcerated right now. So thank you, Miss Keisha, for bringing that to our attention. And that's going to hold a place in our hearts. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please put your information in the chat, okay? And then listen, we'll be up in Carson City. A lot of us are up there. So we will be marching down there and saying our piece, okay? Thank you so much. Put your information in the chat. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. We're honored to have y'all. Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And oh, look at y'all getting spotlight from Lady AK. Go ahead, Lady AK. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. Unmute. Say it out loud.
Trying to catch my mute button. I'm sorry. Actually, I would love to interview everybody, to be honest, on the breakdown. Just email me, Keisha. Of course, if you want to get the word out to the community and get more people involved, you may want to wait until you have your bill number so it's easier for folks to track it down. But I'd love to have you on, as well as everyone else. Quentin, I'm tired of begging you. Thanks.
We just give a shout out to direction up in here, okay? Get your moment too. Yes. All right. Let's move on. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So reach out to Lady AK. She's gonna drop her stuff in the chat, please. Look at y'all getting jobs upon jobs. Are we loving it? We are loving it this Sunday. All right. Next, we're gonna move on to Miss Yesenia. She is going to talk to us again. She's the lead community organizer at Mass Liberation Project for Nevada. And where are you, Yesenia? Should I talk about what we talked about earlier? You good, girl? You good?
I'm here. I'm good.
Okay. But I am going to talk about it real quick, okay? Because it's so important. Because I know that every time we get into a space where we feel like it's Black History Month, it's Hispanic History Month, it's Indigenous People History Month, everybody who's not that feels like they can't contribute. So let me be very clear with you. You can. We are here for you. You are here for us. We have allies. Poor Jerry was at an event with me, and she said, I can't do this. I'm white. I said, Jerry, did you not think we knew that you were white yesterday, today, and tomorrow? Like, we've been Black our lives, you've been white all your life, Jerry. We know that. We see you. But we love you and we feel you and you're here for us. So please, if we invite you, we know who you are. And that means you're a part of our family. You're a part of making history in Nevada and really helping the people who are in Nevada. So please, I love when people try to discredit what we know. We know that you're supposed to be right here. Okay, Miss Yesenia? So let's get busy. All right, tell them who you are. Tell them about Mass Live and what your contributions are to the Black community also. Okay.
Legit, thank you. I appreciate that, and it's an honor to just be in spaces like powerful as people. Excuse my language. Might happen here and there. I do spend most of my time doing community work because that's where my heart is. Community work is heart work, and Mass Lib has allowed me the space to do this work. Mass Liberation Project is a space that is centered in Black liberation, that is here for healing. We want to end mass incarceration because it is a symptom of the systemic racism and colonization all in one. And so I found an organizing home here because we're here to mobilize community and give the resources because our folks have the power, they have the voice. They feel disempowered by the system. And so a lot of our mission is just to really uplift that and really center the necessary conversations that need to be had. We do everything from participatory defense, which is like, if a loved one is currently incarcerated or has recently been in contact with police, help with their families trying to figure out a strategy within community spaces, because a lot of our folks like Keisha do come on and help other folks, and we do Black Mamas Bailout, which the last one we were able to bail out every Black woman from city and county jail, and it's really important that we name that. A lot of backlash was had and continues to be had when we do this and specifically center Black women. And that is just a testament to the anti-Blackness and the patriarchy and the sexism that continues to run rampant in our society. And so we do unapologetically center Black women and Black healing and Black liberation. And I'm just really welcome to be in this space and really just honored to continue to do like abolitionist work.
Well, we appreciate you, Ms. Yesenia. Thank you so much. We're going to talk about that Black Mamas Bailout because we've been very privileged to be part of that a couple of years. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I know it usually happens around Mother's Day. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Thank you.
Yeah, so Black Mamas Bailout is a cohort of amazing women that have come together and continue to every year to come forward. Like Akiko, she's actually here. I'm right now at the Jorge Gomez Community Barbecue. I'm like, where I should go get it. But so essentially like Akiko is one of the main folks, Keisha, Champagne, Teresa Yancey, Jamila, Makaja, just folks that continue to show up and just come together in space. We fundraise, do different kinds of fundraisers. There was a silent auction a couple years back. Last year was a dinner with education on the origins of, you know, soul food and just American food in general, how a lot of it comes back from Africa, like literally deep indigenous roots, and had a complete breakdown about it, and community showed up and it was beautiful. And so then we try to communicate with folks that can or do have like a bail on the book to see how we can work with them. And from there, you know, we try to move whatever resources possible. And I have seen our mujeres just come together and embrace and just like uplift, because this isn't just about bailing mothers out just this one time a year. We try and we do support our mothers all the way from afterwards, the court, after court. We want to continue to build programs that will support and sustain our community. And so we just want to continue to grow the Black Mamas Bailout as well. The folks can always like donate, and I can put the our links are usually on our Facebook and our Instagram.
Thank you so much. And that's a big deal to reunify moms and families, you know, around that time, just anytime. So your information, we can find you on Facebook. Would you say Instagram? What's the handle?
So Mass Liberation is the handle for Instagram, and Mass Liberation Project Nevada is how you can find us on Facebook. And then I can also drop my email in the general email for Mass Lib if any folks wanted to reach out. Really pushing for this Dignity for Incarcerated Women bill, as
Absolutely.
well as voting, inside voting bill. We're trying to make it so that it's accessible for our folks. We help to push for registration for formerly incarcerated folks, as well as our folks that are currently incarcerated. So we have ran campaigns for folks to register to vote inside of the jails, and they're registering, and now we want them to vote inside of the jail. So that's the next part, and continuing to push that.
Look at y'all, just doing good work. Yes, good work. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. See, you were supposed to be here, girl. We need all that information. We needed all that information. Thank you so much. That is wonderful. So BDR 16-255, but we'll look for it, okay? So keep us updated and drop your number to Lady AK so you can be on that show so she can talk about it and lift you up for sure, because especially now that everything's happening, like we got to get you on KCEP Power 88. Look at me, okay? To get you on there with yes. All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Yesenia. All right, we're going to move on next to my girl, my sister, Jay. She is going to talk to us about 1865, no racism. And this is going to just go straight down the line. Then we're going to do President Bush and then President Clinton. Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonte Marshall. Everyone calls me Jay. I am the co-founder of 1865, No Racism in Schools. And we have a lot that we hope to contribute to Black history. But so far, we do have 3 major wins behind us. We are responsible for the crisis response model for hate-motivated behavior, which was adopted by Clark County School District in 2020. So it's actually a part of the emergency response protocol now in our school system. We are in part responsible for AB 371 along with other allies. We push for it which was carried by Assemblywoman Brittany Miller and signed by Governor Sisolak. It is a anti-discrimination in education bill. It's centered in basically outlining how people have to be treated, students of color specifically in the educational setting, as well as educators and staff. And then later that year, we were able to successfully create and pass the anti-racism policy for Clark County School District. And so policy 5137 and 5139 are both that govern now what happens when a racially motivated incident occurs in the school. And also it governs hiring practices, student discipline, education and curriculum, and different things like that. So that was actually adopted by CCSD. So those are 3 ways that we have contributed to Black history. Clark County School District is the 5th largest school district in the nation. So I think that it's been an amazing journey, and we've had some great allies along the way with us that have supported us. In the future, we're currently working on a urban literacy program to address the disparities in reading, specifically among our children. If you don't know, only 30% of our children are reading at grade level in the Clark County School District. So in collaboration with National Action Network, we are working very hard to get 11 centers open through the Family Engagement Department of Clark County School District. Those centers are already established, and the program that has been presented is basically referral based. So what we've asked is that the schools who are performing the lowest in literacy provide referrals, and we integrate in the counselors to provide referrals to the family engagement centers, and so that the students this coming summer can actually attend a summer school type setting, summer camp type setting. But it's focused specifically on reading, and we're going to bring the world of debate teams into the space, and it'll be centered in urban literacy and urban education, because there's a lot of statistical data out there that says that Black kids do not learn to read the same as other children of different races. So that's one thing we're working on. We also are working on what is called the cultural experience, because there is a significant disparity in African-American educators, and an even larger one in administrators in the district. So the school district has partnered with 1865 and National Action Network, which, by the way, I serve dual roles. So you're going to hear a lot of National Action Network, but they have partnered with us to bring on 50 Black educators from internationally. They are being given J-1 visas. They will be able to stay here in the country for 5 years, and they are not just being recruited from Africa. It was very important to us that they are also able to come from the UK and London and primarily Spanish-speaking countries, Afro-Latinas, as well as the Caribbean. So this has been a huge win. We have our first 5 that have been hired and recruited, and they will start in June. And that's a really big win for us. And then we have the Kids Corner. The Kids Corner is the first life coaching company or organization or life coaching program under 1865 that is dedicated to providing certified life coaches for children of color, specifically in the inner city. And so what the life coaches do is actually create a plan of action and a goal. And in collaboration with EOB, we were able to get access to close to $600,000 worth of funding that EOB has for applications. So if a student wants to get into one of the trade schools, say after high school, they want to go to be a carpenter or an electrician or something like that, but they don't have the money to pay for it, EOB is allowing and paying for 100% the students to be able to go to those trade programs and apprentice programs, as well as providing bus passes and payment or vouchers for cards. So if they need TAM cards or any kind of background checks or anything, they will pay for that. So it is a way that we collaborate to ensure that the students have a path to success if they are not able to go on the traditional path to college. And so those are just some things that we have coming up. We also have a gala on March the 18th coming up. And our guest speakers will be Dominique and Ashley Charton. So we will be honoring pillars in our community. This year's Civil Rights and Education, Matriarch in Civil Rights and Education Award will be granted to Miss Lucille Bryant, who is one of the founding members of Wake Up, and she is 90 years old. So we will give her her flowers now. I hope everybody can make it.
Oh my gosh. Listen, if you don't know Jay, you need to know Jay. You be incognito sometimes because she's so quiet, but then you hear all this and the extra and then the ... and you're just like, you're amazing, Jay. I mean, you've done so much for our children. I'm going to tell you, but I definitely really want you to tell them where it all began and how you started, because that is the most important part. So if you would you just do a little bit of your story?
Sure, and thank you so much. I'm honored for the compliments and the recognition. We started because on March 19, 2019, there was a threatened school shooting. What was called the White Student Council was formed at Arborview High School, and a team of 100 white kids decided to get together and plan different types of attacks on Black students at Arborview, 2 of which planned to shoot and kill all of the Black students at Arborview, and they targeted 9 Black boys. My son was one of the 9, and the co-founder of 1865, Kiko Cooks, her son, was another student who were a part of the 9 that were targeted. So at that moment, we had an opportunity to identify whether we followed the norm and just sue the school district for all of the failures and mishaps that we identified, or we could create change. And so we chose not to sue. We chose to press the line and hold the line and create change in the district, which is why the policy work and the laws and all that stuff came, and why we developed a crisis response team, so that as students across the valley, no matter what level of education, be it private school, charter school, or public school, if there is a racially motivated incident, they can contact us and we respond within 48 hours.
And thank you so much. And that you do, because I have been on the phone with you and you're like, girl, hold up, I'm about to walk into school. Okay, hang up. Okay, I'm out to school, but I'm about to go someplace else. Can I call you right there? Like, you're consistently on the move. And so we appreciate you being there for our babies, for real. I mean, that's some hard work too, especially going in and, you know, we already know we're going through the school district. We're going to keep this PG right now because, you know, I get a little crazy about that, but we're going to go ahead and say that. And Jay, if you can tell everybody how they can support 1865, and I just want you to talk about the rally though, okay, real quick. And then what you did in preparation for the rally, leading up to the rally, and who you talked to, and then drop your link in the chat so they can support and give y'all some money for that gala, okay?
Thank you, yes. So our website is noracisminschools.org. Our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all 1865 No Racism in Schools. The gala, you can purchase tickets by going to the space if you want to do individual ticket purchases, or you will find on our Facebook and Instagram page, there is a flyer and a contact number to reach out to Lord Bush and Randolph for sponsorship. So, and it just so happens that President Bush is the owner of Lord Bush and Randolph, or one of the partners. And so you can reach out to him directly for sponsorship opportunities. In reference to, did I say the space? They can go to the space online.
Yeah, you did.
That's how you can make individual tickets.
Yeah.
In reference to the rally, it was an immediate response that was necessary in reference to the students. We have been working with Make the Road Nevada for several years prior in reference to the excessive use of force in Clark County School District. So it was only a matter of time before there was another incident post-pandemic. And one of the parents reached out to us on last Friday. Unfortunately, we had the pleasure of having many of you all to support, but also just in the core trenches, we had President Bush from National Action Network and President Quentin Savard from the NAACP, and Akiko, the other co-founder of 1865. We all got together and we decided to hold the line in unity and say, listen, Chief Black Eye, we want the policy reform. Listen, Dr. Jara, we want to make sure that you understand that we will not tolerate this, and the message of intolerance is necessary. and we want data, and we want tracking and monitoring of any arrests in the last 4 years and future arrests. So there have been some demands that have been put out on the table. They have been also made public in various press releases. And we just spread our wings, you know, between all of the organizations, the NAACP, and then myself, of course, SEIU, Nevada Now. We all just reached out and said, hey, be here, show up this day, and we're going to show them in numbers that if they resist, they will be met with resistance. And I think they got the message loud and clear on this past weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Jay. And it was a phenomenal rally. I'll tell you, I mean, we said we are standing in solidarity against police brutality. Like, we are straight about that. We're not going to take it, and we're definitely not going to take it for our babies. And so we appreciate you all holding the line and setting up the rally. It was very successful. So thank you, sister. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else we can do to support you? Anything else we can do to support 1865?
We just need volunteers, so please sign up. We're trying to build our volunteer list. Pre-pandemic, we were at over 6,000 followers on social media. Our page was hacked and had to come down. So now we're rebuilding, and we need a whole new team to do that. Unfortunately, the pandemic did hit a lot of our volunteers. So if you go to noracisminschools.org and click to volunteer, it is free. We need to build our membership, and we would love to have you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, we are moving on to President Bush. President Bush is the president of the National Action Network. And I'm going to tell you, so listen, when I first started to get messages from President Bush, I'm like, what is happening here? Who is this person? And let me just figure out if I need to meet him. So we met, and we have been inseparable since, sir. I think that we have, SEIU and Nevada Now have, you know, I believe that God has gifted me with the gift of connection and connecting people together, because I just want you to know who I know so we can all get together and do the damn thing, okay? And so I'm very, very fortunate to be your friend, and to call you my friend and my brother. So thank you and welcome, President Bush. If you can let us know about your organization and what you're doing now.
Well, thank you. So our organization is National Action Network, and as you can see by the picture behind me, it is the organization that was founded by Reverend Al Sharpton over 30 years ago. And I believe Reverend Sharpton is Black history. There would be no Barack Obama without Shirley Chisholm, Reverend Sharpton, and Jesse Jackson previously running for president. And so I believe that they paved the way for him to be able to sit in that seat. And National Action Network is an organization that's built on the tenets of Martin Luther King Jr. established. And we're very proud to have relaunched in the city about 1.5 years ago. And also the first relationship that I sought out after relaunching was SEIU. I think at that time, President Michelle was a secretary treasurer. And that was based on not just the relationship that Reverend Sharpton has with National SEIU and Mary Kay Henry, but also the relationship that I had with SEIU 721 in Los Angeles, and the powerful work that we did, where we were one of the first groups to push for the $15 an hour minimum wage. And would you believe now that healthcare workers, now they just passed a law with healthcare workers, that now the minimum wage for healthcare workers in Los Angeles is $25 an hour. And so I think that the unions and also partnerships are powerful. We're proud to be partners with Nevada Now and Sue and Jerry. And I told them all the same thing. I told them that, hey, we're partners. I'm going to show up for you, and we want you to show up for us. And together, listen, when we go out and at this recent rally, I think what we accomplished was amazing with the NAACP and Nevada Now and the partners in Mass Liberation and SEIU. Listen, the community has never seen anything like that before, I believe. We're large organizations and grassroots organizations have come together to support our community and to be together and move as one machine. And so I'm very, very proud of that. National Action Network is has worked. We support AJR. We were one of the first to jump on with AJR 10, which is the involuntary servitude law. And listen, there was a report published by the ACLU in June of 2022 that found about 800,000 prisoners out of the 1.2 million in the state and federal prisons are forced to work, generating a conservative estimate of, get this, $11 billion annually in goods and services, while the average wage ranged from 13 cents to 52 cents per hour. Listen, they're being treated like slaves. They're being treated like slaves. Prison work is modern day slavery. Make no mistake about it. And those 6 words that are in the bill, the involuntary servitude bill, except as punishment for a crime, are those 6 words carved out an exception that enabled incarcerated people to be used as free and forced labor and paved the way for mass incarceration, particularly of Blacks that we still see today. And so that law has to come off of the books, and it will be up on ballot. I'm sure it's going to make it to the ballot in 2024, and we have to get behind it and support it. And then we also, after seeing or getting a call from an individual who was working at the Spear, which is a property behind the Venetian, and which is also owned by the Venetian, but was constructed and built by Madison Square Garden. They found a noose that was particularly there to intimidate Blacks and brown people, and so not only did we get involved with that, but we flew to New York to meet with Madison Square Gardens to talk about that. And I'll tell you what came out of that before, but one of the things that came out of it, or I'll tell you what came out of that after, but one of the things that came out of it was that with the help of Jante Marshall and myself, we wrote a noose law. That noose law is BDR 1517, and it's being presented by Pat Spearman. And so we would love for you all to get behind that. This law makes it punishable to put a noose or a swastika on a private property that you don't own or a public property, punishable by jail time and also by a fine. And so we made it very, very easy. We stripped away a lot of stuff on this to make it very, very easy because of the governor that we have now. If Sisolak was still the governor, then we would have made it, it would have been different. It would have looked different. But we made it very easy for our supermajority in the Assembly and the majority in the Senate to pass it, and also for Governor Lombardo to be able to pass it. And so we need you all. Pat Spearman is carrying it, as I said, and I think it's going to get through with flying colors. Let me go back and go back to, since we have our wonderful Secretary of State on Cisco Aguilar on the line, in that we have a challenge with the involuntary servitude. My whole day on Tuesday is taking calls from prisoners, taking calls from those that are incarcerated from both High Desert and also South Desert Correctional. And so some of the things that we're fighting for them is not just the involuntary servitude law, but also the fact that they're taking cold showers. And they've been taking cold showers for about 2 or 3 months now. Also the fact that they're getting molded food. They get food that's molded, but then also from the prisoners that I talked to, there's not enough food to feed a child. And so some of those things are some of the things that we need to make sure that we as a community dig into and that we stand for. But not only are they the law says they're slaves, but they're treated like slaves. And nobody is listening to them. And so every single week, my call list increases. And I believe that we as a community need to come together and take a stand for them, and also take a stand for the fact that they that's not just that some of them shouldn't be there, but the fact that that when they call, they're calling. Listen, our number is circulated. Our number is circulated. This is no exaggeration. I probably get 15 to 20 calls every single week from different prisoners or different those that are incarcerated. And so those are some of the things that we're working on. We also, one of the things that we did with the NFL, or that we're working on with the NFL, is an NFL content lab. An NFL content lab. Listen, we have kids, our children, who are interested in being professional football players and professional basketball players. But you know, there's 199 players drafted in the NFL, and only about 50 of them are going to make the league. Every single year, 50 of them are going to make the league. And so the NFL Content Lab is to show kids another way, so show our children another way that they can be involved in the sport that they love, but they can be behind the scenes. They can be behind the cameras. They can be a Stephen A. Smith. So listen, Stephen A. Smith makes $20 million a year. And he started out as a journalist. And so there's other ways that those that want to make a life in sports can do it, besides playing the sport, if they love the sport. And so that's exciting for us also. I would like to think that National Action Network is, you know, I'm happy to see President Savoir on. And listen, one of the things that I grew up here. I graduated from Rancho High School, went to Jim Bridger. My family is Black history. We were one of the first two families to move into North Las Vegas when Blacks weren't supposed to live in North Las Vegas. And that was back in 1970. And Mama told us, don't be out after the street lights come on, or they would come find us so that we didn't come up missing. And so I would like to think that my family is a part of Black history, but that we're doing something with our partners to make a difference in the community, and that National Action Network is going to continue to grow, and we're hopeful that you guys can grow with us. And so how you can support us.
Look at you, go ahead. Yep, do it. No, you do, go, yes.
How you can support us is, listen, I see Jerry and Sue on, and I see Dr. Cosgrove, who is one of our advisors on. And listen, there has never been a time in civil rights, where our mission, where Black folks' mission has not been supported and undergirded and moved without our white allies, without our Caucasian allies. Never. We need you all, and we need you all to be present. And listen, I'm one of 4 men on this call, right? I'm one of 4 men on this call. Well, listen, when we come into the National Action Network space, it's also mostly women. But we need more allies of all colors to come in and to support and to be with us. And we need you to go with us. We are completely membership driven. All the work that we do, we just recently paid for somebody's power bill, and then just recently paid for somebody's rent. And we do that by the membership that we receive from our members, which is only $25 for an entire year. And so we'd like for you all to become members and then come out and support and be a part of the work, because we're better when we're together.
Yes. Thank you, President Bush. Thank you so much. If you could drop your information in the chat for people so they can get a hold of you. And thank you. Oh, someone else did it. I know, that's right. We got assistants all around here. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And we are going to save the second best. I'm going to go after you, President Savoir. But we are so excited to have you here. the new NAACP president of Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. President Quinton. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my dear sister. I appreciate you. It's such a delight to be with you all today. This is my first time on the Now Monthly program. I know, for years we've been trying to make this happen, so I made it, Jerry. I'm really thrilled to be with you all. I'm especially thrilled and delighted to be here as the new president of the NAACP. Today is day 50. Yeah, so we are like flying the plane, or building the plane as we fly it, as they would say. But the NAACP stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It is the oldest civil rights organization in the United States, founded in 1909. It was founded by a multitude of individuals, but four of them included Mary White Ovington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Moorfield Story, and Ida B. Wells. And that truth, that historical fact just underscores what President Bush just said, that no advancement of our civil rights or civil liberties has happened in this country without the help of our white allies who are empathetic, who understand their role, and use their leverage, their privilege to help advance justice for all of us. So since 1909, the NAACP has been the vanguard of civil rights. Here in Las Vegas, our branch was founded actually in 1928. So we are careening around a centennial, folks, and if I'm blessed enough, then I will be at the helm of that celebration, because there is so much for us to celebrate. We have a very rich legacy as a branch in this state, in Las Vegas specifically. I believe it was in 1965 that my fraternity brother and former president, Dr. James McMillan, who was the first Black dentist in Nevada, led the conversations along with other men like Mr. Bob Bailey, Brother Bob Bailey, I should say, to desegregate the Las Vegas Strip. That was meaningful change that impacted our lives. I had brunch on the Strip today. That wouldn't have happened 50 years ago, you know? So this branch has been responsible for some pretty incredible and dynamic achievements in civil rights. Another win that comes to mind is the work of former President Frank Hawkins, who played an instrumental role in making sure that Las Vegas Metro PD wears body cams so that there can be greater accountability amongst our law enforcement professionals, those we entrust to protect us in the community. So I have big shoes to fill. It's so strange to say I am Black History, but I am the youngest branch president of the Las Vegas branch of the NAACP. So it is a thrill. I feel the responsibility, but I feel ready for it. And I know all the right folks. I have all the right partners. I sit with myself. I told Coach Friday, we're riding home, I said, how did I get this blessed to have all of the right alliances and friendships with powerful people, with like-minded allies, people with passion, people with conviction about their community, and not being wrapped up in ego, not being wrapped up in being on TV, but genuinely trying to change people's lives. This is not a show for me. I love Black people. I love communities of color. It matters to me that we have access to whole, full, thriving lives. I have nieces and nephews who I want to see not deal with the foolishness that we are combating and fighting against today. Generational issues that have been passed down, an inability to afford childcare, eggs as expensive as they are, housing. I'm not going to stop talking about housing. And these aren't new fights. So my aim is that my Max, my nephew, my great-nephew Max, my great-nephew, my great-niece, Princess Maverick, I don't want them having to fight for these things. I want them to live a life that's full and whole and exciting, where they can explore things that bring them pleasure and not have to worry about the stress and anxiety of a police car pulling up behind them. So that's why I'm steeped in this work. There's a lot of rebuilding I'm doing at the NAACP. We've been very focused the last 8 years on one component of the work, supporting classrooms, having fabulous fundraising events. That's one part of the work. I am most interested and capable at building power. I know how to mobilize people to bring change into their own communities. I know how to build political power, and we have not done that as an NAACP branch, and that's what I'm most excited about. So some of the things on the horizon for us are to develop a pipeline for our young people. We talk a lot in this city about not having a bench of who our future leaders will be. Well, I don't need to hold on to this for forever. I would love to train someone, to teach someone the work of organizing, the work of being a political operative, the work of lobbying, so that we know our democracy is fortified. We need to be building exposure for our young people so they're exposed to industries in STEM, industries in entrepreneurship, industries and science, all the things. So I just really, really, really want to change lives, and that's what we're going to be doing at the NAACP over the next 2 years. I'm gonna tell y'all this: we family, we on here. I listen. This 2-year term thing, I'm already stressing about next year. It's like I need some time. I need some time to get in here and like really get my feet in the ground. But I'm looking forward to building power. And next year is a re-election year, which is so strange to say, but I'm excited, and I really, really hope you'll join me and joining me in AACP.
Yes, thank you, President Savoy. We appreciate you, and let us know what else we can do to support you and what you have working on like now. What are you currently working on right now? And what we can do to support you.
Right now, what you can do, you can show up at this school board meeting on Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. Because I don't know that they're taking us seriously, but they're going to. So I need everybody to show up Thursday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. If you can, you need to call your trustee, and I need you to tell them to agendize CCSD PD reform. That's the language we're using. CCSD PD reform. Agendizing that item allows us to have a broader conversation versus the very anti-democracy. And Mr. Secretary, we should talk about that. But the school district has now made public comment only 30 minutes at the end of the agenda, which is the craziest thing in the world to me. It feels very anti-democracy, and I need to figure out how we change that. So if it's on the agenda, we can talk more about it. That's on Thursday the 23rd. On Friday the 24th, come have a little fun with us. We've been doing a lot of work, doing a lot of advocacy. We're going to be at the Art House at 6 p.m. with our friends from AAPI DIMS, and we're calling it Lovers and Dims, and it's a night to honor Black love songs in honor of Black History Month. So we're going to be doing karaoke at the Art House Hookah Lounge. Come have a good time with us. One of my other priorities as president is building bridges into other communities that our branch members and maybe even myself don't have a lot of exposure to and opportunities with. It is the Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So for me, it's very important that we have allies and bridges in the AAPI community, in the Latinx community, in the LGBTQ community, and so on. We need to be building alliances everywhere because justice is going to take all of us. That's what you can do right now to help. And it's on my Facebook page. I got homework there.
That was wonderful. Yes, I love it. I feel like we're on a telethon. Call the number. Call the people, right? Okay. That is wonderful. Thank you so much and congratulations. And I'm with Sean. 4 more years. That's the theme song right now. 4 more years for you, President. So thank you so much. We absolutely appreciate you. We have 15 minutes left. I'm going to take my time just to talk a little bit about SEIU and being the first Black president of SEIU. And I will tell you, and thank you everybody for being here and taking your Sunday. We really appreciate it. And thank you to, especially to Evelyn and Jovan, because those two know that although we are Black women in the labor movement never looked like us, ever, 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 ever. And because of that, I'll tell you, I had the pleasure of receiving a proclamation from Commissioner Sagerblum last week, and I was really more honored to have BTH's, for those of you who don't know, Lindsay Harris's father, come up with me to receive the award because he, in 1976, went to his union and said, hey, I want to be a part of this. I know what you guys do, and I need good benefits for my family. My daughter, I got to make sure that she's taken care of because she's going to need some braces. I need to make sure that we have health care. And they said, absolutely not, because you're Black. Straight up, you're Black, absolutely not. In 1977, he went back and said, I'm not leaving until I can get in there. We're going to have to leave. And in 1978, he went back and they let him join. I was born in 1979. So because of him, and 44 years ago, I am standing here today at 43 years old as a Black president of SEIU. So in Nevada, and his union was in Nevada. And so I'm telling you, like, just knowing how far we've come, and how far we still have to go was just, just moving to stand next to him, to know that he was Black history and he is Black history because of the fight and the struggle. And because of his fight and struggle, just like we can all say, because of somebody else paved the way for us to be here. Somebody else paved the way for Quentin to be in that seat. Somebody else paved the way for Lady AK to be in that spot. Like we can name our mentors and the legacies and the trailblazers, and because of them, we have a big responsibility. But you know what? We are designed for that. By design, we are here to carry on that legacy. And at SEIU Local 1107, thank you, President Savoy, for saying that, because we definitely believe that we're stronger together and communities united, raising the stakes is our platform. And we have various partners with Nevada Now, National Action Network. I sit on both of those boards. I sit on the plan board, the AAPI community, the Indigenous community, the Latinx community, the African community, because a lot of people think the Black community and the African community are the same, and we are not the same. We are different, but we are together in heart, and we come together on a lot of events. And so, you know, we definitely partner with our organizations to make sure that we are fighting for a better world and a better democracy for everyone. And so I appreciate you saying that, President Sewar. And so I just want to take a minute too. We are going to talk, I just want to remind everybody the bills that we're going to sponsor and testify on would be the Noose Law, BDR 1517 with Senator Spearman, and then the slavery, AJR 10, removing slavery from the Constitution, and then SEIU. We ran, I don't want to say ran, but we partnered with our former SEIU member of 27 years, Clara Thomas, and we sponsored the Juneteenth bill, AB 140. So that was our priority this session, was AB 140, to ensure that we have that bill for all Black people to be able to celebrate our Freedom Day on June 19th. And the difference is, I know a lot of people probably saw a lot of other organizations having that bill, but they wanted it to be observed on the 4th Wednesday or the 7th Tuesday or the 8th Wednesday, Monday. No. Juneteenth is celebrated on June 19th. That's when it happened, that day. Just like July 4th, it's celebrated on July 4th. Okay, it didn't happen July 7th and a half, July 4th. So Juneteenth, we got to be celebrated on June 19th. And when it passes, we will be the 19th state to celebrate June 19th for Juneteenth. So we thought that was important too. So quit, I see you laughing. Okay. So we were very honored and fortunate. And then the next thing we were talking about is home health care workers. And President Bush, thank you for talking about the fight for 15, because you're right, it was time for 25. That was the next bill they carried, was time for 25 in California for the workers out there. And we are still fighting for our home care workers to make more than the $9.45 they make per hour, taking care of our loved ones. And we are hoping that they can make at least $15 an hour here in the state of Nevada, especially with inflation. We were able to pass the Home Care Standards Board, where they can sit on a board, they can have their testing paid for. So if they have to get, if I'm working for Lady AK and I'm also working for Jay, I could have a CPR certification for Lady AK, and Jay's like, I don't recognize that, and I'd have to pay for another one. But now, because we passed that law, they both have to accept it. And if they don't need the work from the agency. So those are some of the things that we passed last time, because most of the home care workers are Black and brown women of color. And again, they are working 3 and 4 jobs just to make a living for their families, and we don't need them to do that. And so, all right, so we are going to thank you, everybody. Let's everybody a round of applause. And we are going to just remind everybody that Lady AK has invited everybody back to Power 88. And please, please, please text her. She put all of her information in there because she really wants to. We really need you to get out. This is the little platform. Wait till y'all on the big platform. It's so you have to wear little headphones like you somebody. It's really fun. So please, we would love to hear your voice. Let us know when that's happening so we can uplift and listen to everybody. I just want to take one moment and just ask our Secretary of State, how are you doing? How are things going? We want to hear from you.
Good evening, everybody. This is fascinating. I love learning what everybody's doing in our community. It just makes me realize how much work we have to do, and we have to keep fighting. Any moment we let up, they're just going to try to snoop in and whack us with something else. So President Bush, I sent you a text. So if you have an opportunity to chat, I'd love to speak with you about those issues. Especially having I sit on the Board of Prisoners, and I think these are some things we should discuss or have a discussion about before I go to my first meeting. But look, I'm super honored. I'm super lucky. This is an incredible position that has so much work to do. But every day I go there honored, and I would not be there without all of you. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. We're focusing on the legislature, making sure we get the request that we want. Fortunately, the governor submitted every budget request I asked of him. So now we just have to get it through the legislature. We got $15 million to redo the Silver Flume corporate filing system, which helps our small businesses. They shouldn't, like I said before on the campaign, they shouldn't need an attorney to use our office. And I think with this $15 million, we can make that a reality. They should be investing the money that they're earning back into their business. We received his approval for $30 million for an election management system, which will address a lot of these issues that we're talking about in our community about ballots and mail-in ballots and tracking ballots. And so I'm super excited about that. Presented, to the legislature a couple weeks ago. That was quite an experience. I testified before the legislature, but taking an entire office to talk about elections, which is such a critical thing, and not knowing what's going to happen or what balloons are going to drop from the sky. It was a pretty incredible experience. I was super lucky. So happy to answer any questions if anybody has them, but thank you again for this opportunity. I'm super honored, and look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you so much. It was so great to see you at Inauguration Day. We were up at the down there. We're like, don't wait. He's got to do stuff. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We definitely look forward to your journey. We do, and whatever we can do to support you too, right? Because we know you need some health and healing sometime too. So whatever we can do to help you, you let us know. Because we be okay. We be thugging sometimes, Cisco. You know that, okay? All right. Yep. Okay. Because you call it the big guns. But thank you. In honor of Black History Month, I definitely do want to thank everybody for being on the program. And listen, Nevada Now, I'm telling you, like when they said, when I joined my Emerge class, and they're like, you got to join an organization. And I was like, well, let me find something. And I was going through the emails and looking at the websites, and I was like, well, wait a minute, they're all white. I don't know what I'm going to do there, right? Really? But then I had to tell them, okay, we need a little bit more color on your website, okay? Because, I keep it real with them. So I joined Nevada Now, and we've been inseparable ever since. And they are wonderful. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful women. And I'm telling you, I'm so fortunate to have you all in my life. I am, because I don't know where I would be without you, because you just have everybody's best interest in mind for real. And because you're able to do more things than we can do, like I told Jerry before, listen, they might not let me in. They're going to let you in. So I need you to carry this message for me. And that has been the truth in some cases, So I definitely appreciate all the allies we have on this telephone call that are not afraid to be thugging with us sometime, okay? In the snow and the rain and the hot desert sun, because we need you and we appreciate you, and you're not getting rid of us. And I've had, we've had some moments where I'm like, Jerry, the website looks a little snowy. you gotta put some color on that website. But she listens, and it's the truth, and we roll past it. And she knows I, with love, say that. My daughter, I was looking at Faith Lutheran's website, and I was like, wait a minute, the whole page is white. We need to change that. So I emailed them. They changed it the next day. You have to be vocal. No longer, it's okay to not be racist, but anti-racist is an action. You have to take the action to speak about it when it's there. Yeah. And so just little things like that people don't realize that they have the power to change, right? You have the power to change anything you want. You just got to speak up. And so I definitely appreciate Jerry and Sue and Nevada Now for being advocates and allies for people all over. So for young women, transgender women, everybody, LGBTQI women, Black women, Indigenous women. So we love you guys, and we thank you so much. And so I will turn it back over. Thank you for letting me host it. I feel, look at Lady AK. Did I do it? Did I do it, Lady AK? I did it? Okay. I feel so good. It was so wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jovan. Thank you, Lady AK. Thank you, everybody. I think a couple of people left off, but thank you, everybody, for being here today. And I'm going to turn it back over to Sue. She's going to go over some legislation.
Yeah, Michelle, you were absolutely awesome. I'm just overwhelmed with everybody that's on here, but I will be real quick, because otherwise I'll take an hour just thanking everybody. 2 big hearings tomorrow. We all the bills that have been mentioned today, we as Nevada Now are following. We have an opportunity to have you let us know what bills you're following. If there's anything we haven't mentioned. So I've just put my email in the chat. If you want to join our Slack channel, where we just talk to each other about the different bills and let everybody know when the hearings are. Also email me and I'll get you on there. But 2 big hearings tomorrow. SB 131 at 8 a.m. in the Senate Commerce and Labor Committee. It's in room 4412 at Grant Sawyer. This is Senator Canizaro's bill that will codify Governor Sisolak's executive order to not prosecute, pursue, punish anybody coming to the state of Nevada for an abortion. The opinions so far are against. We need everybody to come out, either testify, get your opinion. I'm going to also put that in the chat. And the other bill is AB 163. This is from the National Coalition to Violence. It will expand on employment protections provided by SB 361 in 2017. This will be also heard tomorrow at 1:30 in Assembly, Commerce, and Labor in room 4401 at Grant Sawyer.
Wait, Sue, you cut out when you said what 163 was. Your phone cut out. Say what the bill is again.
It's a bill from the National Coalition to End Sexual Violence. It will expand employment protections to those that have been victims of sexual violence. It a bill in 2017, SB 361. It's an expansion of that, and it'll be heard tomorrow, 1:30, Assembly, Commerce and Labor, room 4401 at Grant Sawyer. So that's all I've got right now.
And also Reverend Bush has his hand up, so I don't know if he had something to add to.
Yes, President Bush.
Well, that was before. I'll wait until the end. I want to make sure I don't ruin the mood.
Oh, no, it's good.
Uh-oh.
It's your take.
Well, no, I was just going to say to Lady AK, because she did comedy, that that there's some synergies there, because back in the day, I managed the J Spot in Los Angeles, J. Anthony Brown's Club. And so I had about 5 comedians on our talent roster that I managed.
Uh-oh, we about to do business deals. Okay, we need to make sure you got a union contract.
That's why.
Make sure you got a union contract.
I don't know what just happened in the other room. I'm sorry. Are you trying to book me, President Bush, or are you telling me that? Are you telling me that you were there the night that I performed at the J Spot? You on mute still?
I was trying to figure out where I remember the name, and it was because I was there. I managed the J Spot.
That is absolutely amazing. That was one of my favorite times performing comedy. It's the first time that I ever had 2 shows in the same night, and I was very proud to do 2 separate sets completely, and I had a great time. It was my first time performing in California. It's a good time.
So if you need any references, Cedric the Entertainer, Niecy Nash, Sandra Quarterman from Hanging with Mr. Cooper, they'll all speak very highly.
That's very awesome. It's that's very nice of you to say, President Bush. Michelle, while I have my microphone off mute though, I would like to say to anybody who's in an elected position, I always think that it's less of an uphill battle for you during election season if people know the work that you're doing on a larger scale. So for example, for the Secretary of State, a lot of people don't know, 1, what you do, 2, that your job is this complex. And so the more people that know, hey, this is how you're fighting, $15 million, 25, all of them millions of dollars that you just named, don't you think that more people should know that you're out there fighting the good fight for that money? So I say that to Quentin, you've done amazing work long before you were the president of the NAACP. Son, please sing your rainbow song somewhere else.
Listen, I'm with it. I was listening, but okay, sir.
But if you wouldn't have to be concerned about 2 years from now, if people know what you're doing now and what you have done before. So when I say I'm inviting you all to come on to the breakdown, I mean so that more people can know, hey, this is why their lives are better because of people like you all. So by all means, please take advantage of my phone number, the breakdown email, as well as AK's Closet's email for anything it is that you all may need. I know mass liberation, you all probably deal with a lot of moms and things like that. I typically have diapers and wipes and things like that on reserve, as well as clothes. So reach out to me. Thank you. Sorry to take more.
I know that's right. Booked and blessed. Okay, get them, Lady AK. Get them. So yes, thank you so much. Well, we appreciate everybody. Come off mute. This is when we say goodbye, farewell. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the holiday off tomorrow. For those of you who are not working on your union holiday, that's one of them union holidays. So just enjoy yourselves. And we will see everybody soon. Everybody can come off mute. Thank you, Cisco. We hope
See you soon.
have a good
Take
day
care.
too.
Goodbye, everybody.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
everyone.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
To our new addition to the family, and we decided to name her Maya after Maya Angelou. This is Maya. Adorable.
Cute.
Somebody mentioned the comedy show for Nan. I actually have Cause We Care Comedy, which is a series of fundraiser comedy shows. So if Nan would like to be a recipient again, email me. Bye, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see
Making all
this.
these
See you
contacts.
later. Have a good night.
Great
everybody.
program. Thank you very much. It was a great program.
Thanks, Audrey.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Panel, Michelle.
President Bush,
What
I'll
a
call you
panel.
after.
Okay.
Bush and Jay, we'll talk after. Thank you. Bye, Javon. Bye, Sean.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Alexis. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Ginny, bye. Bye, Sean. Sean, we'll call you this week. Okay, bye, everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, have a great one. Take care.
Okay. Thank you, you too.